Proving your marketing ROI shouldn't be a guessing game. But when results are hard to track, it's difficult to know if your marketing strategy is working. Meet CallRail. In a few clicks, you can connect every conversation to the exact campaign that started it, so you can focus on what works and drive better marketing outcomes, all in one platform. Try it free today at callrail.com/proven. What is up, marketing bestie? Daniel here. Today I'm bringing you a special episode, and this one's straight from Marketingland Festival 2025. Yes, we recorded it for you. You're about to hear an amazing conversation between Ari Murray, my wife, also the Chief Digital Officer at Sultan Stone, and Stefani, Head of Growth at STAUD. In this talk, they break down how product-led and marketing-led brands really grow, how to build a growth org that stays close to product, how to think about new channels like CTV, out of home, and retail media, and the first move they'd make if they were launching a brand today. It's a very tactical, fun episode, and it is also full of nuggets. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Marketing Millennials, the No BS Marketing Podcast. I'm Daniel Murray, and join me for unfiltered conversations with the brains behind marketing's coolest companies. The one request I tell our guests, stories or it didn't happen. Get ready to turn the up.
Hi, Marketingland. It's us from the past. Steph, so good to see you. Love your background, love your sweater. And we have a really important day for you today. When I say it's us from the past, it's currently July 8th. I have to tell you that because I'm 9 months pregnant and I just wanted you to know. So we are pre-recording and we are going to be with you day of at Marketingland. We wouldn't miss it. Daniel wants us to wear Halloween costumes, but we're not those type of girls. So we will see what happens. But so happy to be together. And I have so much to do and to teach you, but really it's all going to be about Steph today. And I'm so excited to just learn about your experience and to show you guys why we're in Growthland. Steph is a G and she really, really, really knows how to grow. And she works at STAUD, which is one of my favorite brands ever. I want everyone to know that I'm wearing a STAUD sweater, purchase full price. I have 2 of these. This is my STAUD purse. It's really important to me. It's the Tommy. I used it on my 30th birthday. And I think they go well together. I'm not leaving my house today, so this is a prop. But Steph just really knows what she's doing. She sells the best stuff. She's formerly of Savage X Fenty, Moda Operandi, Chanel, if you've ever heard of it. And have the best day ever. But Steph, thank you for being here. And I just can't wait for everyone to get to know you.
Thank you for having me. You gatekeep Daniel wanting us to be in outfits.
Yeah, he's crazy. Every year there's a theme, and I do support this year's theme, and I hope everyone in costume knows we respect you fully for your choices. And we love that it's October 30th. We love that so much, but in July it just seems hard to commit to.
Yeah, it's hot.
We'll see. Yeah, so lots of questions. Let's talk growth. So at STAUD, the product leads marketing. It's the key to the strategy. But at Savage X Fenty, marketing was more associated as driving the company's growth. How do those dynamics shape your growth strategies in each role? So like a product-led growth or a marketing-led growth?
Yeah, I kind of came to this product versus marketing-led growth philosophy or theme or something more recently as I was kind of reflecting on previous roles that I've had. I think that at STAUD, the product is the hero. And so our relentless focus was all built around the product. So growth became about building demand around very intentional product stories and driving urgency around or through exclusive products, newness, collabs, but letting the product really lead all of that storytelling. Whereas at Savage and a lot of other D2C led businesses, marketing and growth performance marketing were the main levers that were pulled to unlock scale. So the strategy was more about funnel velocity and conversion rate optimization and real-time conversion monitoring to guide kind of where to push and pull. I think that both kind of shaped me in different ways. My philosophy now and what I hope to kind of bring into the future is the blend of both, the blend of like really strong product and product intuition with a healthy, profitable performance marketing flywheel. But ultimately, they each require kind of different pacing, lever prioritization, business prioritization, investments. And it kind of just depends on what the company you're with, what their philosophy is and culture is around growth.
Do you think that when you think of a product-led company or a marketing-led company, do you think that it matters if the marketing-led company has this like celebrity figure? Does that play into it? Or is it agnostic and it's just if you're data, or product?
I think it's more that. I think the celebrity piece, you can be a celebrity brand and be still product driven.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like RHODE is a good example of that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Celebrity, like everyone's obsessed with RHODE right now. I feel like it's the most tired example, but like they're crushing it.
Applies.
Really a product-led brand, but led by a celebrity. And then there are product-led brands that are, no shade to VCs, but VC backed and really just like growth, performance. And so I think it just depends on the values around product and customer and why the brand was founded and maybe what our kind of ultimate maybe exit plan looks like.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I think the RHODE example to me also, it's product and celebrity, but they also were very careful with inventory in the beginning. It was very hard to get it. You had to set your alarm. It was always somehow restocked Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Yeah. And I think that you can be all those things. You can be backed. You can have a celebrity. You can have a product priority and have data, but also like you can create your own demand by withholding the product. So it's all part of it. We can talk about this. I'm still on my first question, guys. This is what happens when I talk to Steph. But what are the trade-offs between the two models to you? And which one do you think is more scalable over time? So product or marketing?
Yeah. I think that my own now philosophy that I'll continue to carry on in my career is that product-led models build deeper equity and loyalty and organic demand. With that said, if you want to be a product-led business and your focus isn't on the product, customer and customer feedback, manufacturing, production, efficiency, and like speed to market within reason, you're kind of maybe like at a little bit of a mismatch there. I also think in a product-led business, there has to be an element and a culture of product test and learn to help find scale and find products that really hit and become big winners. If you're doing that without performance marketing, I think that a marketing-led, growth-led business drives and can drive faster growth, but without a strong product resonance or product loyalty or brand loyalty. From what I've seen in the market and from the brands that I've talked to that have kind of fallen down this path, it risks a lot of customer churn, rising CACs, the like relentless kind of media optimizations of it all. And I think that over time, a scalable, healthy, profitable business and model blends both. It lets product guide your focus and your narrative and also your point of differentiation while using performance and media and digital marketing to help amplify and sell at scale.
I like that. I also think what you said about having like an ability to experiment with product and a patience and probably even like a margin of error where if you are selling the same SKUs of deodorant and then you release a new flavor every time, that's like in a product-led company, if there's always a new flavor twice a month, and if one flavor is crazy, but it could be crazy good or crazy bad, if you have the model and the cash flow and the ability to let yourself fail versus I think too, even in a product-led company, in a marketing-led company too, there's a lot of pressure if you overbuy inventory or if you miscalculate. And I think either model you get into those issues, but in a part of the company, like there's a certain trust and know-how, and you have to be able to like stomach it, which is not easy.
It's not. And I think that I agree 100%. And I think that the kind of what I'm getting at around the organic demand piece and even the celebrity piece that you were talking about before, with organic demand and product loyalty or even brand loyalty, you have something to you'll always have something to fall back on, right? Like you're not going to drop yourself off a cliff if your new collection doesn't hit, but all of these other extensions, iterations, collabs, whatever it is, hit. And so you have this great baseline. In some growth businesses I've seen, or businesses that are really reliant on like one single lever to drive like buzzy poppy growth, you lack that really great baseline to fall back onto. And so you end up with a business that looks like this instead of like this.
The floor is not level.
No.
Yeah. I've also in a celebrity brand too, you're at the mercy of if something changes for them. And I've been there where the celebrity decides they want to be less active, or they get canceled or whatever. The canceled one's really hard. I'd love to meet a growth marketer that can like overcome that one. I have not been able to. How do you structure your growth org to stay close to product without losing speed and the ability to experiment?
I think it's cultural. I think that if the baseline agreement and the common ground between every team or department in a business is that we love our product, and then inherently, because you love your product, you love the customer that loves your product. I am kind of like, how can you go wrong? I think the further removed you are from what you're selling doesn't help you. At least I haven't seen that it has. I think that the closer you are to what you're selling, the richness in storytelling comes through, the relentless focus on fit, or, whatever product you're selling, the relentless focus on perfection of that product, and tapping into what the customer loves about that product is a shared common goal.
And if that's the culture, then the product team like wants to hear from marketing, wants to show marketing. Yes. They know marketing is going to be excited. They know you're going to ask for a GWP, and then they're going to make your dreams come true, and then you're all going to freak. Like, I think that culture of it's not separate departments, but an engine.
Yeah.
It's hard to have
shared accountability almost.
Well, yeah, because a product makes a foundation that no one likes, so you can sell it once, and then it all has to be together. They need you and you need them. And I feel like we sometimes all can get siloed into our own niche or expertise, but
yeah. And then you go down the path of, why are CACs $27 higher than we projected them to be? Well, this collection isn't selling. This isn't what our customer wanted. We didn't listen. And that's not a blame. That's just, we have this shared goal around this one thing that we're all going to champion, because it's how we grow the business ultimately. Obviously, if you're not like a product-led business and you're selling something different, or you're selling technology, all of this will vary within reason in what you're selling. But yeah, I think that it's cultural. It has to come from the very top.
Do you think it's growth responsibility to be involved in this? And how do you best get involved, like on a tactical level?
I think this is actually a really exciting question. I'm glad that you asked this, because I've been in growth, performance, whatever you want to call it, for about a decade. I started in growth before it was even called growth.
What was it called?
Like before it was before it was like the sexy thing. People were like, whatever you're doing over there, that's not cute. And so I think growth and performance has evolved so much over the last decade. And at first, and still currently, some growth leaders and growth roles are so tightly wound to media. Mm-hmm. And then some roles are far more expansive and really lead revenue generation and kind of growth thought leadership for a business. And then there's obviously so much in between. I really value the idea that a growth leader and growth team should be involved in all things business expansion, whether that's a new market, a new channel, a new media channel, or a new sales channel, a new product extension or product category, when and where to launch something. Do I think they should be involved in the design process? No. Do I think that they should be giving feedback on designs? Probably not. But I do think that they should be involved as a thought partner and thought leader of how this is going to end up in market and what they're seeing and how this will all kind of fit together. I think that they have a really critical point of view because your growth team, depending on the scope of the growth team, they'll probably have a really great insight into the fluctuations in customer spending and customer engagement, because social and paid channels are just, you get so much rich information on what's going on in the market from those channels. And so I'm really, really excited about companies that are expanding their view of how to engage and value growth leadership in a more holistic, strategic arm that's responsible for a scaled, profitable business versus pigeonholing growth into one idea of a part of marketing.
Yeah, I love that. And for me, I'm obviously not on the brand side anymore. I do miss it, if you can tell by my love of all your products. But I run an agency and lead a big team of media buyers and of creatives. And I don't even like to call my media buyers. I consider them, you start as a growth specialist and then you're a growth manager. And then, because I'm trying to teach that if you get an ad, even at the actual fundamental level of the job, if you get an ad and you read the ad copy and it's assigned to you in Asana and you're about to stand it up and you think it's bullshit and you think it's going to tank out, and you can't just accept mismatched ad copy to an ad to a landing page destination that you didn't choose and stand it up and then say, oh, they gave it to me and the creative handed me this. Everyone who sets anything live is responsible for their point of view on what they're working on. And you don't have to know everything about video animation to know if something feels off or to know if it doesn't match the patterns of what's working or isn't a test that's for diversity. And so in any role, you can take your role at face value and you can be a media person or you can be a growth marketer that's more in the data, which is great to know. But the way you describe your growth team and your level of responsibility, across the org of how things get to you before they get to you, is how I think all growth teams should run at any level, at any type of business, where you have as much say as you allow yourself to have. And you have to challenge what you're handed. And you don't want to stand up anything or get a product dropped in your lap for Q4 to move that you don't believe in, or at least never said anything.
Yeah. You can stay in your lane and be an expert and still have the mindset of a business owner.
I love it. That's the punchline for sure.
Yeah. Great.
When expanding into new platforms like CTV, retail media, out of home, what signals do you look for that let you know it's worth it? I know there's different levels of measurement on each of these.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this last night, actually, because I was torn on how to answer this, because there's the obvious answer of incrementality, brand lift study, all that good stuff, which I can talk about. But also, I went to a dinner maybe 3 years ago, and the CEO of Avocado Mattress was there.
I just got a pillow last week for my hospital bag.
Oh my God. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's the pillows I have on my bed, but I decided it sicks me out to bring it to the hospital, so I'm getting a new one.
That's amazing. It's a great brand.
Great pillow.
And so he was telling me about when they launched Avocado Mattress. He only invested in out-of-home and upper funnel media. He did not do any performance marketing at all whatsoever, at least for the first couple of years, from what he told me. He wanted a physical adjacency to other brands, whether that's out of home and you're near you're in a great area, or there's other billboards with other great brands that you want to be adjacent to, similarly on television. And he didn't want to live and die by the performance marketing cycle. This was kind of probably this was post-COVID. And so I think there was also a lot of just fatigue around performance marketing and how much money we're spending. But so I think about that all the time. And I remember that experience, and I was kind of intimidated by that thought process. But I also think it feels really fresh and exciting if you have the right funding and you can lean into that in a big way. Outside of that, incrementality signals like lift in brand search studies, brand lift studies when you can afford them, if you're spending enough in that in those specific channels. Any like organic direct traffic signals are great. Awareness studies, things like that. Outside of that, I'm also really interested in like retail expansion strategy. And then if you have a wholesale team or, wholesale retailers that you work with, what doors are really outwardly performing, so that can give us indicators where we might have a really strong engaged community, but we aren't physically showing up as a brand. And that might unlock an interesting opportunity for targeting out of home or CTV or something a little bit more upper funnel.
As marketers, we're all trying to answer the same question: which investments are actually driving revenue? And too often, the honest answer is an educated guess. CallRail replaces that guesswork with proof. With the help of AI, you can connect every lead to the exact campaign that drove it, analyze your conversations, and capture leads around the clock. That's why over 220,000 businesses use CallRail to market smarter. Stop estimating impact and start proving it. Try CallRail for free at callrail.com/proveit.
I love that answer. The avocado example, I've never heard a brand describe themselves as marketing in that way, as like, this is our move, we're going to go top of funnel first. I think it's obviously hard to know if it pays off. And I get worried sometimes when I worked on brands like a big alcohol brand that was launching. We're supposed to be really big. We're so excited about it. And like the day of the launch, we are told there's 2 billion PR impressions. And you're like, oh my God, amazing. And there's 30K in sales. And you're like, oh God, we missed it. And so I think that's not the same type of top of funnel you're describing. But I think in the sense, the avocado example is showing up where the big brands show up, or in ways that small new brands that are not able to normally spend there or don't have the guts to spend there. It kind of like builds a different type of trust. And if you're buying an expensive pillow or an expensive mattress, you don't want to feel like you're buying from maybe like an Instagram ad brand. And maybe that's what that accomplishes. So I like that example.
Saturating out of home CTV versus saturating TikTok, Facebook, Meta, whatever.
Yeah. I like it. It takes total guts. I want to one day. I need some funding, but I want to do that for sure. How do you think about messaging consistency when you're juggling product launches, performance ads, organic? Does it matter? Are you a stickler here? Do you want it to just be whatever it needs to be?
I think that the main thing that I talk about often with my teams is respecting context. And so I think that consistency builds trust, memorability, launch cohesion, but rigidity can limit your relevance, whether that's relevance across different channels or relevance across all the diverse audiences that you're looking to engage. And so I think aligning on a core narrative or message or feeling that you want for a launch or a product is important, but then allowing that to run free. It's almost like when you're bowling and you get the little kitty bounders. Yeah, bumpers. Like that, I feel like you have this campaign there, but then you need to be able to like bounce it back and forth, flex it, shorten it, expand it, change it a bit within boundaries again, by channel and by audience, to keep that messaging consistent, to respect the context.
I like it. I think bumpers is a really good example. And I teach my teams, at least, like, let's say we have a brand guideline we've been given or a deck for a new product launch, but it might have enough content within for us to understand like 2 lines of copy that we can write. But I don't only want to run ads that are short form. I want to also run, especially if it's a technical product or a supplement or something people need to trust, you can still bring in evergreen working stats, or it doesn't always have to be exactly the brief. But you have to sort of fight that sometimes too. But I think it matters.
Okay.
I have one last question for you. If you were launching a brand from scratch tomorrow, what's the first growth move that you'd make?
I think that, okay, have you ever heard of ShopMy? Are you using ShopMy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, explain it to everyone.
I'm on a ShopMy high right now. They're like to know it sort of vibe. But they're new. I think they're maybe 2 years old or 3 years old. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, they're a community-driven influencer affiliate platform, but the influencers and content creators are so engaged. Mm-hmm. And I think that if I were launching a brand tomorrow, I'd want to like penetrate multiple different types of important communities with really solid orbits of people and community around them that align with our product and storytelling and values, and build that amazing word of mouth and product engagement and get people to touch and feel and use the product, and to talk about it. I think that you could have a multi-million-dollar, I've seen it, you can have a multi-million-dollar business before you even start CRM, paid media, by just focusing on that.
I love that. ShopMy story for us is one of my brands was launching this spring, and we were contacting ShopMy to get them there, like as a brand that sells on ShopMy. And ShopMy like would not give us the time of day because it was a celebrity brand that was very stealth. So I wouldn't tell them the name of the celebrity. And it took me a long time to like get a meeting. And then they like weren't that nice to us over email. And then we got the meeting and they like really wanted my celebrity, and then it all changed. But like I think
come on.
My point in that is not that I don't like ShopMy, because I really do believe in it and I get it, but they're very protective of what is allowed to be sold and who's allowed to be a creator, and it feels cool. And I think I agree with you, $1 million, multi-million-dollar brand doesn't need like an abandonment flow if someone that you love is wearing the product, showing the product, linking out seamlessly, and it feels trusted in the way that like it's not like linking out to Amazon. You feel like you're cool and people want to be cool, and they really don't just let anyone in. I can affirm that because it was hard to get there. So thank you so much for being here, Steph. I can't wait to see you in October. Reminder, this is not live, but it's about to be, because we're going to do a Q&A. We're going to answer your questions, and I just can't wait for everyone's Halloween costumes and for us all to be together right now. So thank you, Steph, and thank you, Marketingland, for having us, and proud of you, Danielle.
Thank you both.
Thanks so much for listening. Keep tuning in to hear more great insights from the coolest marketers from around the world. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and follow the Marketing Millennials podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you like what you hear, I would greatly appreciate you giving us a 5-star rating. It helps bring more marketers into our community.